All I'm gonna say is I need me one of these right here. That's all I'm gonna say.
I got married at 19. I had my first baby when I was 21. I had 3 kids at age 30. I didn't drink. I didn't do drugs. I didn't party. I've only ever slept with one man. And a lot of people would say that I missed out on my 20s, that I didn't do it the way most girls do. But here's the thing. When I was younger, I wasn't looking around at people who were my age. I was looking at people who were older than me, people who had the kind of lives that I wanted to have someday, the kind of marriages I admired, the kind of families that felt peaceful and stable and meaningful and fun. When I listened to them talk about their lives, they weren't sad that they missed out on like sleeping around or partying. They weren't bitter that they didn't, get drunk more when they weren't angry that they didn't spend more time finding themselves. What mattered to them was the relationships that they built inside their homes. What mattered was who they became as wives, husbands, as parents, as people. And it was obvious to me back then that life is very, very short. And so I didn't want to just sit around waiting to jump into the parts that actually matter. I didn't want to spend a lot of time waiting to become the person that I wanted to become. Because if you say that you want a life in your 40s, 50s, 60s that's full of purpose, and if you see yourself as a wife, as a mom, as somebody who is building a family, then why wait so long and fall into the traps that the world sets for young women? Why focus only on yourself, waking up next to strangers and wandering aimlessly while time passes? The truth that nobody really wants to say out loud is that as time goes by, you get older, options change, and you become the person that you are currently being. So why live in a completely different world than the one you ultimately want, just because that's what the world tells you to do? If you look around, a lot of the world is not happy. They don't end up being happy long-term in life. Just because you're young now doesn't mean that you can't start building the habits that set the foundation for your future marriage, for your future family, for your future peace. If you don't believe me, listen to older women who have found real success and happiness, and they'll tell you that it wasn't found in the things everyone told them to chase in their 20s. It was found in commitment and discipline and love and in the life that they built on purpose.
Bars, bars. See, I'm 10 years right now, single and celibate, waiting on true love. Because I got tired of getting lied to, getting cheated on. My picker was broke. I come from a one-parent home. My mom raised 3 kids by herself, and I never had a good example of what a healthy family looked like. And I just picked girls that didn't appreciate me, and I settled for not being appreciated for. And it came to a point where I said, fuck all this shit. I'm going to be appreciated. And so now I'm going on 10 years, single and celibate, waiting on true love. And if I don't find it, I'll just be single and celibate the rest of my life. I done made that choice. I made that decision, and I have been sticking to it for 10 years. And it's actually quite freeing because you see the role, the duty of a man is to set boundaries, okay? Boundaries are not a bad thing. Just ask the periodic table. The physical world that we know is only possible because of boundaries, such as the speed of light. People act like boundaries is a bad thing, but that's part of the divide and conquer protocols being pushed by the elites to make men forget their purpose. There has been great lengths to emasculate men in all kinds of different ways, and one of the ways is to decrease the testosterone in men through putting bullshit in the food and drink that people drink. And this also results in a lot more gays than what there would otherwise be. No, I got nothing against gays. I'm from Florida. I love gays, especially the really hot dudes. I love them motherfuckers, especially when they're standing right next to me like a fucking chick magnet. And these bitches will come up to the hot dude, and then they're like, oh shit, you suck dick. And then they'll kind of get deflected off that hot dude because he don't want what they got. And look, there I am. So I love gay ass motherfuckers. So I'm not saying anything about gays. If you want to chug that cock, go right on for it, little buckaroo. So I just point of the story. I need me one of these right here. I need me one of these right here. Yeah, I could use one, but if I'd never find it, see, I quit chasing it though, because I used to chase it. I quit chasing it, quit giving a fuck. If God has that in the cards for me, then that's the hand I'll get dealt. Otherwise, it's fucking whatever. But I've made up my mind, and I'm not going to settle for less than what I know I fucking deserve. And I think that is a big source of a lot of pain for people. They are settling for less They are settling for what doesn't appreciate them, and this ultimately results in pain. And people are so afraid of being alone, but there are worse things than being alone, like such as accepting someone who does not truly appreciate you and reciprocate your intentions. So that's just a quick one I wanted to drop. I saw this right here. Let's hear what Mr. Knight has to say. This is Knight Talks, y'all.
Accurate. First baby at 21. Only man she been with. 3 babies by 30, bro. And then she don't look a day over 25, dog. Like, she looking good, stress free. Look like. But the message though, it's like, dog, you gotta get that shit a standing ovation, bro. Like, she's an alien, the unicorn.